Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak to everybody. I think that one of the best parts of Eid is the brunch that we have after prayers. And so I'm going to do a two-part video on the classics of any Eid brunch. So I've got a few select items besides any other things that you might want to make that day. And in this part, I'm going to do a Desi omelette and chutney ke kofte. So these are the ingredients for the Desi omelette, and this omelette is actually a personal request from someone, so I hope they like it when they make it, inshallah. So we're going to start with the 3 eggs, and the thing about an omelette, the best thing for a good omelette is to not add too many ingredients. Just salt maybe, or some dry chili pepper flakes, because if you put in too many things, it can create liquid in the egg, and also it's going to take away the elasticity. So best to, keep it simple and add any ingredients later, and you'll see what I'm going to when I'm going to explain it to you. So then you heat a pan on medium, and you can put about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Here's an estimate of cooking oil, and then just mix it about. And a desi omelette has to be a little bit more oily. And now you just add the egg, and this is the most crucial part, because what we're going to do now is create ribbons in the omelette. Any good omelette should have this ribbon effect in it. This is what I mean when I say the ribbon effect. Taking some into the middle and then pouring the excess out, and then doing that from various directions at intervals. Again. So what this will do is kind of create a texture in the middle, and it will keep your omelette from becoming flat and, strangely leathery. It'll give it nice texture and bite and substance, and also it will make it easier to flip it over. It won't tear as easily. Now there will come a point when the egg starts to cook and there's no more left to pour. That's when you put on the other ingredients, which of course will be chopped onion and coriander, hara dhanya, and green chilies. That's what goes into a classic desi omelette. And the leftover raw egg will kind of let these ingredients cling to it, and then you can flip it over and they will get a chance to cook. So now we're going to turn it over, and you'll see that it's quite easy for the egg to be flipped over. There's no worry about it tearing so easily. And because it was on medium heat, it cooked well. And now after cooking it for a little while to allow the onions and the green masala to cook a little bit, we're going to flip it back over. Or even if you didn't want to, you wanted everything to show, you could still do that as well. but I'm going to flip it over. So we can check how it looks at the bottom, and when we're satisfied, we turn it around. And then we can, it's optional. If you want, you can add a little cheese. I like to, but if you add too much cheese, then the flavor will be overwhelming, and that's not, your typical Pakistani desi omelette. So I try not to overwhelm it. This is just one slice of cheese, and then you just double it, and then you dish it out. Now, I find that 3 eggs make a good substantial omelette. I wouldn't do more than 3 eggs for one omelette. You can definitely make multiple, and then you can cut them into 3 pieces each, knowing that you have other items on the table. So a third part of this would make a good serving, because essentially that will be 1 egg, right? Now, every year, I just make a simple bhuna hua keema, a dry keema for breakfast. But this year, I thought I might make it interesting by doing chutney ke kofte. It's something light and snacky, and the koftas are smaller. It's a good brunch item, especially with the other things that we'll have. So I hope you like this, and I hope you'll let me know. So we're going to need only 400 grams of minced beef or chicken, and because the koftas will be smaller, and then we'll add the following ingredients. So we have salt, we have garam masala, we have red chili powder, amchur, and we have kofta ka besan. Now this is kofta besan, which I prepare, and I'm going to put it in the description. And then we have these ground cashews, and we're basically going to put everything in there. And then there's a cup of minced onion, and I'm going to put 3/4 of that cup into the keema masala, and the rest of it will go into the chutney. And I'm the estimating kind of person, but I always put down measurements for everyone's benefit. So there you have it. So now we're going to mix it up, and the drill, put them together and then create little koftas. And here we are. I'm just going to put some in there while we're talking. And so we've got about, well, not about, we've actually got 24 koftas here. And they're just a bit, tiny bit smaller than a usual kofta that you would put in a general kofta curry. And now we're just going to take them over and fry them. So here we have about, I'd say about, let's see, four tablespoons of cooking oil, and I'm just going to lay them in there. Now, I usually don't pre-fry the koftas, but for this one, it's going to create a nice kind of, I can't think of an English word for this. It'll make it kind of sonda. It'll give a little bit of umami, I guess, if they're pre-fried, and it'll make it nice and snacky, like a kebab-like feeling. So you just put them in there and try as little as possible to, put a spoon in there. I mean, I ended up doing that in the end because you can't really flip them over so easily, but you have to be careful. And, see how they're nice and golden brown. And while these are frying, I'm going to be creating the chutney. So I'll just let them brown for a little while, and then I'm going to create the hari chutney for it. Now all the green ingredients, the coriander, hara dhanya, and the green chilies and the mint leaves. Everything is going to be blended together, but I'm not going to put the masala in there yet. These are just the blended ingredients with the leftover minced onion, and I'm going to pour it into the koftas here, and now just cook it for a little while, and then I'm going to add the dry ingredients into this slowly, because we don't want the chutney to, overcook. We want it to mix with the koftas a little bit. So here we are. We've got salt, we've got garam masala, zira powder, and we've got cashew, ground cashew. Now, I put in ground cashew. This is my own addition to typical chutney koftas, because I think that the crushed nuts will give it a nice creamy flavor. As you know, chutney and you know imli and everything, it's really, the tamarind makes it very sour. So this will tone it down a little bit, and it will give it a nice creamy taste as well. So we're just going to cook it a little bit, and just allow the masalas and the kofta to mix and mingle. Cover it, and let it reduce at intervals. Just mix it around a little bit. And what's happened here is that the kofta flavor has gone into the chutney. That's why I didn't reduce the chutney before I added the koftas to it. And at this point, when it looks something like this, then I'm going to add the tamarind or the imli, and you can put as much or as little water as you want. You can add some, and you just mix it around again just a little bit. And at this point, you taste. If you feel that it's a little bit too sour, I insist that there at least be a quarter cup of imli paste in there. You can add water to make it less sour, and then you just cook it for a few minutes more, 5 to 7 minutes more, just to allow everything to mix together, and then it's time to serve. Now I'm sure that these kofta and the omelette will taste great with puri, paratha, rogni roti, whatever you prefer. Hope you enjoy it.